From the studios of the Performance Motorsports Network, bringing you the fastest 60 minutes in racing. It's Burning Rubber Radio.
Burning rubber, baby.
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 Burning rubber, baby. Burning rubber, baby.
Now, here are your hosts.
I know what the prediction is. You don't even have to explain it. And here it is. Burning rubber, baby.
Ooh, that's right, folks. I tell you what, there's so much excitement going on around here at Burning Rubber Radio. For one thing, the buffet line is clear, folks. That's right. The Swami, well, he basically has just dumped us tonight. So, you know, of course, there's some poor little kid out there going to be doing without ice cream tonight. But I tell you what we got. We got Dirty Dan sitting over there, Little Miss Dangerous Emily sitting on the other side, and we got Bob hiding behind there smoking another one. What's up, folks?
Here.
Yeah, I can't say it. What's happening tonight, everybody?
Not a whole lot, I guess.
That's right, because the whole lot is not happening because we don't have the whole lot sitting in here tonight. That's right, folks. We've got elbow room, we've got free line to the buffet, and we got tons of great stuff going on, and we won't have to worry about the Swami polluting it.
That's always a positive thing when the Swami's not around to pollute, man. Speaking of, did you smell him last week, Charles? Man, we got to pay for a $10 truck stop, shower, truck wash, or something to get him washed. What do you think?
That's cold.
I think it's going to take Febreze or something maybe like those scented diapers or something, man.
There you go, folks. We need a sponsorship of Febreze in the Burning Rubber Radio studios. Emily, what do you think about all that?
Man, I can't help but agree with you, I guess.
She has no choice.
Charles, we're corrupting Little Miss Dangerous.
Well, no, I think that bus done left the station now. Come on.
Who do we got on the show tonight, Charles?
Hey, buddy, I tell you what, we've got a couple of guys on here tonight. And I guess, you know, we probably should break it on down. We're talking to the PR director from Homestead Miami Speedway. We are talking to a couple other guys that, you know, since my producer over here is not telling me who they are, we're lost. But I think
Sorry about that.
it's going to be a great show, folks, either way we go, because like I said, you know, we don't have the Swami tonight, so it's actually going to be some entertainment going on. But, you know, that's the way we're going to roll with the show tonight. This is going to be the non-Swami Burning Rubber Radio.
I think everybody's in the mood for that. We won't have to listen about his escapades on iRacing, will we?
Oh, that's for sure. And I tell you what, that just alleviates a lot of pressure off me. But I tell you what, folks, we've got Eddie Williams, we've got Eric Holmes, and we've got Steve Barnett, and we're going to do a little description on who those folks are in a minute. But we're going to go to the break, pay a few bills, and we're going to come back with more Burning Rubber Radio.
Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, your wait is over. Finally, hot rodding has come home to the hub of motorsports, Charlotte, North Carolina. I'm Redline Ryan.
And I'm the Tasman.
And we are Cruise Control Extreme. Cruise Control Extreme, Fridays at 7:30. Go to cruisecontroltv.com for a channel near you. Cruise Control Extreme, Charlotte's original hot rod show.
This is where it happens, where talent is tested, where five-time champion Jimmy Johnson claimed his titles, where determination took Tony Stewart from the back of the pack to center stage, where young Brad Keselowski became a household name, and it's where domination defines what you're called. Champ. The NASCAR Sprint Cup Series Championship Ford EcoBoost 400, November 17th. Call 866-409-RACE or go to HomesteadMiamiSpeedway.com for tickets. See who gets called champ. Next.
Media sales professionals with agency experience. If you're frustrated with your current position, unrealistic quotas, and inept management, if you're a sales machine and you simply will not take no as an acceptable reply, if you're looking for a rapidly growing company with unlimited sales potential for commissions in the hundreds of thousands of dollars, if you're searching for a high-tech, forward-looking, laid-back, but extremely professional organization who appreciate your skills and dedication, we have your next opportunity. Scorpion Radio Group is building a sales team of self-starters who are motivated. Your imagination is the only limit here. Call 717-749-0444 or email us at scorpionradiogroup@gmail.com. That's 717-749-0444 and ask for Sue. Ladies, become empowered with firearms training at Veritas Training Academy in Sarasota, Florida. Veritas will teach you what the bad guys don't want you to know. No prior firearms experience needed. Classes fill up quickly, so don't delay. 941-447-7089. That's 941-447-7089 for class dates and times. Veritas also offers firearm safety and concealed carry courses as well as private lessons to hone your firearm skills and provide you with all the information you need to stay compliant with the law. Veritas Training Academy, 941-447-7089. Or check them out on Facebook at facebook.com/trainveritas.
You're listening to Burning Rubber Radio. Now back to the Burning Rubber Radio crew and the guy that thinks someone actually cares that he drove in the Slammer Series.
That's right. He drove in the Slammer Series, folks. That means he slammed into everybody on the track. And we are back with some more Burning Rubber Radio. And again, we're enjoying the Andy Free Show, folks. And I tell you what, if you like the Andy Free Show, just get on Facebook and post, that he needs scented diapers and Febreze. Post it all over the Burning Rubber Facebook page. Send us an email, burning.rubber@hotmail.com. Voice your opinions out, and that way when he does finally decide to come back to the show, we're just going to show him. We're just going to tell him, hey, man, you got the stank going on.
Did you see that? He does have the stink. Did you see that picture? It got posted on the Burning Rubber Facebook page today, see?
Yeah, I saw that. I saw that.
Scary. That was scary stuff, right?
and the funny thing is, that's the way he looks most of the time, folks.
He looked like a redneck Jersey Shore version of, I don't even know what. That was definitely scary.
Oh, it definitely was. But even scarier when he's on the track talking about our sponsor, iRacing, folks. I tell you what, iRacing.com. If you have not been there and you're a race fan and you're not racing on iRacing, there's just definitely something wrong with you. Had a big Week 13 update, folks. And I tell you what, that threw a wrench into the cogs because I tell you what, since some of our other people on the show have not been on there racing and doing their part. But they did have a Week 13th update, which changed some physics and changed the tires. They introduced the new Mustang in the Class B series, so now you actually have Chevrolet versus Ford in the Class B nationwide cars. And I'm telling you what, man, I got out on the track and I tried out that car, and I could not drive it a lap. It had so much power, it was so loose. I can done tell I'm going to have to go into the setups and just do things.
I haven't had a chance to do any iRacing. I went home this weekend and had to go to a few parties and see the family, so I didn't get any iRacing done this weekend.
Hey, listen, Emily, family's second nature when you got iRacing going on, okay? You're just going to have to get broke into that.
Oh, I know. I had to, though. This was kind of important, I guess, so.
But we'll let you slide. We'll let you slide.
Yeah, I'll get it done sometime.
Yep, that's right.
How'd the tires change up, see? Have you got a chance to run those Week 13 updates yet?
Yeah, that was the first thing that I did starting Week 13 was get on there. The update started popping up saying, you need to update. And I'm like, okay. So 15 minutes later, after I'd done all these updates, it was like 500 megs of updates, folks. And I tell you what, if you're out there racing some other kind of generic game on Xbox or whatever, this is the real deal because they changed everything. Everybody's setups were different. Everything, the physics and all. And the tracks that they were putting out there for Week 13 was kind of like a shocker. They were putting like the Legends on the road course at Charlotte. They were putting the Legends at Lime Rock full course. They were putting the street stocks on the Legends course at Charlotte Motor Speedway. Now, everybody that knows what the Legends track is, it's the inside. It's part of pit road, part of the track, and it's like running in a barrel.
I can't imagine running that Legend track. See, on in a stock car in the street stocks, it's hard enough to run with the Legend cars, man. I cannot imagine running that in the street stock.
Oh man, let me tell you something. It was basically guys getting out there flipping every curve until finally somebody started kind of telling guys how to set the cars up, and it was a blast. It was fun.
I can't wait to get back on there and try to figure something out, I guess. Anyway, be interesting anyway.
It definitely is. I tell you what, it's a lot of fun. And folks, if you want to get a part of Burning Rubber Radio and some iRacing, you just need to go to the Facebook page, post it on there. I love iRacing and think Andy DeLay sucks. and you will definitely get some kind of iRacing gear, folks, because I tell you what, they're a big sponsor of our show, and there's no doubt it is the way to go.
That's it. Get over the Burning Rubber Radio Facebook page. Type in, what does that see? Burning Rubber, baby, and we'll get you a 3 free month iRacing subscription if you are not already a member of iRacing. Producer Bob's hollering in our ear, guys. We got to get out of here and go to break, and we'll be back with Burning Rubber Radio and Eric Holmes right after this.
Woo! Everyone has a cell phone, and everyone pays for cell service, right? Wrong. Life Mobile offers you a way to get free, unlimited calling, text, and internet with up to and including 4G speeds through your favorite carrier, FREE. That's free forever. With Life Mobile, when you refer 3 of your friends, your service becomes free. Help your friends get 3 and theirs becomes free. Hurry on over to the number 3, makeitfree.com. That's 3makeitfree.com. Learn how easy it is to never see a cell phone bill again. Go to www.3makeitfree.com and get started now. That's 3makeitfree.com. Life Mobile. Life made easy.
Shopping around for your racing gear, driving from store to store only to find they don't have what you want? Barter's Racing Collectibles on Black Gap Road in Fayetteville, Pennsylvania has it all. The hottest NASCAR, IRL, and NHRA diecast, t-shirts, jackets, flags, and more. Everything racing. Stop by or check out their website, www.farnersracing.com, or call 717-352-2782. You'll be surprised at the selection, price, and friendly client service. UPS, FedEx, and USPS shipping available. Farners Racing Collectibles. www.farnersracing.com or call 717-352-2787. Farners Racing Collectibles, where racing comes alive.
You're listening to Burning Rubber Radio. And now the guy that traded paint at Talladega.
Everybody get up!
Okay, I'll grant you a gallon of purple for a can of chartreuse. And he ain't wrapped too tight. Here's Andy DeLay and the Burning Rubber Radio crew.
That's right, folks. We're back again. And again, I said it is a stink-free show, folks. What does everybody think about that?
I have to agree, man. I'm full. I'm about ready to fall asleep from eating this week instead of my moonshine jar, see?
Well, I'm telling you what, man. You get some of that actual calories into you besides that old shine, man. It's until what'll happen.
You can't get nowhere near that buffet when the Swami's around. That's a fact.
That or the bathroom.
Well, you can't occupy both at the same time, so you have to pick wisely, I guess.
Well, Andy did both very well. Yeah, he does both at the same time. Trust me, he takes the buffet with him. Anyways, folks, let's get back to the serious stuff. I tell you what, now we've got a lot of talented drivers, a lot of different guys on this show. But I tell you what, now what we've got, well, put it to you this way: he's like Swami. He's a 3-time champion in the K&N Pro Series. And I tell you what, folks, it seems like to me that this guy's got it going on. He's going to make things happen. What about, have we got Eric Holmes on the phone? Eric, are you there?
Yep, I'm here. Thanks for having me tonight.
Oh, buddy, the pleasure's all ours, buddy. I tell you what, seems like you've been tearing it up a little bit out there. So we got a bunch of rookie stripers out here. So just tell us, basically where you started from, where you're going, how many thousands of championships you got and all that good stuff.
Well, hopefully a lot of championships. But, yeah, just like any Saturday night racer, I grew up in a little town here in Escalon, California. My father had a dairy and raced cars for fun, and them race cars looked like a lot more fun than them cows. So started racing at our local short track here, Stockton 99 Speedway, and won a lot of races there and moved on to what used to be the Southwest Tour and won some races there, came close to winning championships, and then kind of just 2006, it was the end of the Southwest Tour, and the guy I was driving for said, let's go run a few West races, and we ran a few. We won the championship on accident, just kind of by running a few races. One car, one engine, and won the championship, and lost the Southwest Tour championship by 1 point. So 2006 was definitely an awesome year for us. And in the meantime, I'd always been friends with Bill McAnally, and he'd let me drive a car here and there, and the car we used in 2006 to win the championship, we ended up buying from him, and so he had to hire me after that. And been with Napa and Bill McAnally since 2008, and got 2 more championships with them guys. So it's been a fun ride since, and hopefully keep it going.
Oh, no doubt. Now, of course, now a lot of the K&N, a lot of people out there with the K&N series and stuff, we see it on TV, you hear about it and stuff. But now, describe a little bit about the cars. Of course, looks-wise, they kind of look like, maybe the older Cup cars, things like that, maybe with the chassis. What kind of engines do you run, things like that?
Yeah, I mean, most of the chassis are old Cup cars or old Nationwide cars. When they went to the new cars, it flooded the market, so it made it kind of affordable. A lot of new people came in that, in those years, and the engines, NASCAR, and all the manufacturers got together back in 2006, 2007, and developed an engine. The engines were costing $70,000, $80,000, and they'd only last 3 races, and you'd have to spend a bunch of money freshening them. So they developed an engine. It's not really a spec engine; it's spec parts, and you can build them. You can, kind of do what you got to do to them, but the parts all have to come from one manufacturer. The parts all got a identification on them, and NASCAR scans them, and the engines are $25,000 and still make close to 700 horsepower, and they're all a lot of fun to drive, and it's really helped the series. So I'm glad they did that.
Now, of course, we talk a lot about the money and the cost, and a lot of our fans, of course, they see the drivers out there on the track, and they're thinking, oh man, everybody can do this. But now, really, the affordability of this series is probably some of the greatest out there. I mean, kind of give us a typical example, like tires and things like that.
Yeah, I mean, really, with the new cars and the engines package, it's become affordable as far as that. Tires are still not cheap. I mean, it's probably close to $800 for a set of tires, and to be competitive on most of our races, you need 3 sets of those tires. So that adds up. And the biggest thing on the West Coast, as far as expense, is the travel. We got to go a long ways. I mean, there's not too many races that are less than 10 hours away. So that gets to where you have flights and hotel rooms, and that's the biggest expense. On the K&N East Series, the travel is a quarter of what it is on the West Series. So it looks, those states are closer together back there and a lot more tracks to choose from. So the East is probably a little more affordable, but then when you get to the East, you have a lot of Cup teams and affiliated teams and stuff. So they put a bunch of money into it and drive the competition up, but it's fairly affordable if you want to move up to a touring series, and a great way to learn different tracks and the different setups of the cars.
Now, of course, too, is speaking of parts and things like that, I guess you got a line of credit at Napa to take care of that, right?
Yeah, well, I'm fortunate. I'm just the driver, and Bill McAnally, he's got to figure out how to pay the bills on my race cars, so that's good for me. But Napa Auto Parts has been a supporter of him for, I think, 23 years now, and he's won them 4 championships, fortunately, or 5 championships, and fortunately I've been a part of 2 of those, and I'll never forget 2008 being at my championship banquet, first year driving for Napa. Guy's president of Napa and the president of the Western Division asked what I was going to do when I was done driving race cars, and I said, I don't know, maybe get a Napa store someday. And lo and behold, about a month and a half later, we got a Napa store in my hometown of Escalon, and now we've got 3 of them, so it's been a lot of fun since then, too.
Awesome.
Yeah, it seems like you got to do a lot of traveling, and I see you have 2 daughters. Is that kind of difficult to keep up with everything they do and travel at the same time? Yeah,
I mean, everybody's got to make sacrifices in their life, and racing's been part of my life my entire life, so everybody in my family knows that, and I try to include them, in the races we can. They go to probably 6-8 races a year with me, so that makes it fun, and even though we do travel a lot of times I leave early Saturday mornings or late Friday nights, and I'm back Sunday morning. So, I might miss 2 days a week here and there, but we try not to be at the tracks very long. Just fly in, do our job, and fly home. So it's not too bad. But that part of the traveling does wear you out. You get up at 3 in the morning to drive to the airport and go and race all day, and get back to your hotel at 1 and get up at 3 in the morning to go back to the airport. So when I get home on Sundays, I'm a little tired and lounging around watching a NASCAR race on TV, but still get to spend a lot of time with them. And fortunately, I got kind of my own businesses, so I'm right here in town, little town, so when I'm home, I can spend some quality time with them.
Yeah, that's good. Have they showed any interest in racing at all?
My oldest daughter, I don't think so, but she does like racing, and she acts like she wants to, do something maybe on the marketing side or something like that. She likes doing that kind of stuff, and you never know, maybe someday down the road, and she knows that's what she knows a lot of people in the business now, and got to meet a lot of my friends, and people have moved on. So, and my little one, she's 3, and she's on the gas all day long. Her initials are MPH for Macy Parker Holmes, so she might be the one that wants to go racing someday.
Yeah, those are good initials to have for a potential race car driver, that's for sure.
Yeah, and she is like on the gas all the time. I don't think that kid ever slows down, so she might be the driver in the family.
Now, Eric, you had mentioned that you have some businesses that keep you pretty busy. So let's go ahead and put it out there, man. These 3 businesses you have for yourself do keep you pretty busy. What is it that you're doing, man?
Yeah, they do. We got Napa Auto Parts stores. Like I said, after our banquet there in 2008, a good friend of mine named Phil Tilbury and I went partners together and bought these stores. He's a farmer here, and he does his farming thing, so he was always buying parts from these stores. So it just worked out good for the both of us. And yeah, 3 of them. Fortunately, I got good people working for us, so it gives me a little time to get away and do what I got to do. But days like today, I've been gone since last Wednesday. So days like today, lots of paperwork and lots of book work, but I enjoy it. You know, it's the parts business. I really enjoy it because of the racing side. I do a lot of fun things with Napa, extra fun things just because I'm part of the Napa racing team. So pretty much every day I wear a Napa blue shirt, and I'm very proud to wear that. And it's an exciting business to be in, and definitely exciting to be racing for them.
Now, I got to ask you, Eric, you know, I was going to ask you this in our warm-up to the show when I was talking to you earlier, but what kind of delivery vehicle does your 3 Napa stores have, man? Do you got something cool, or do you got one of those trucks, you know, with the big Napa hats on it like we see here in the Midwest? What is it you race around town in delivering those Napa auto parts?
Yeah, you know, we're getting ready to buy another one, and ever since we've been in this deal, we haven't had a lot of extra money to have something cool, but pretty soon we're going to have something cool. But right now we got a couple of them Napa trucks and a couple little Napa cars. Gas prices aren't that cheap anymore, so you got to have some, you know, economy in those cars. But I'm going to get me a cool one to lay some rubber down and do some burnouts in the parking lot. So
now, is that going to be like Bill's black truck that I keep hearing about that he's got in Napa collars that he delivers parts in? Is that what we're talking about? Some hot rod like that?
Yeah, maybe something. I mean, we got Toyota as our sponsor, so he drives himself there a Tundra with a bunch of horsepower. I learned that he can't drive it in the rain, though. I heard he spun it out a few times in the rain, so he don't drive it in wet weather. But yeah, we'll get us something like that.
We'll have to remember that next time we talk to Bill. That's a fact. All right, C, you ready?
That's right. And I'll tell you what, Eric, you could always suggest to him rain tires.
Rain tires, yeah.
Yeah. Something like they're going to try to
always,
these little sissy NASCAR guys, you know, that can't drive in the rain.
Yeah. That's it. He just reminds me that's why he don't drive the race car no more. He don't drive the race car no more because of things like that.
Yeah. Well, I'll tell you what, Eric, we've about out of time, buddy, but I'll tell you what, there's 3 famous words that we got to get you to scream out. You know, I know if you're in a public place and everything, they can, you can tell them you're on medication when you do it, but it's 3 famous words created by Kenny Wallace. You know, he screamed it out at Kentucky Speedway, and we all know he was crazy. But you got to yell, burning rubber, baby, top of your lungs. You know, make sure you wake up the neighbors and all that.
I'm standing here at my Napa store, so we'll see what everybody says there. A bunch of farmers in here will be looking at me a little strange, so. Well, burning rubber, baby.
Folks, Eric Holm, Can-Am champion. I tell you what, boys, he's going to be out there tearing up the track. And plus 2, folks, he works at a Napa store, so when you need them parts, that's the only place to go. Now, I tell you what, we're going to step out, we're going to pay a few more bills, and we're going to come back with more Burning Rubber Radio.
Tincher Williams Chevrolet Buick GMC is your Lexington, Kentucky, and Corbin Chevy Buick and GMC authority. From pre-owned to the newest models, Tincher Williams is the only place to shop in the Lexington area. Check out their website for your next new or pre-owned vehicle, www.tincherwilliamschevrolet.com. All of the full-line inventory of in-stock and on-order Buicks, GMC trucks, and Chevrolets are right there online. Plus, you can check out what's hot at Tincher Williams on the homepage. Schedule your service appointment. Browse the inventory. Look for Tincher Williams specials. Check out your financing options. See what GM incentives are being offered for your vehicle. You can even shop for new tires at their convenient online tire store and get directions from wherever you are right there. It's all online at www.tincherwilliamschevrolet.com. That's Tincher Williams Chevrolet Buick GMC, located in London, Kentucky, your Lexington and Corbin Chevy Buick and GMC authority. Tired of shopping around for your racing gear? Driving from store to store only to find they don't have what you want? Farner's Racing Collectibles on Route 997 in Scotland, Pennsylvania has it all. The hottest NASCAR, IRL, and NHRA diecasts, t-shirts, jackets, flags, and a whole lot more. Everything racing. Stop by or check out their website, www.farnersracing.com. You'll be surprised at the selection, prices, and friendly client service. UPS, FedEx, and USPS shipping available. Farner's Racing Collectibles, where racing comes alive.
You're listening to Burning Rubber Radio. Now back to the radio team that has no problem kissing your
Radio edit
to get an interview.
Woo! And I'll tell you what, we're back again. Big Dan Smith, Big Bob Steele, and Miss Little Dangerous Emily. How's it going?
Well, I'm good. I'm having a good time.
Oh, I'm having a great time. See, the atmosphere is even different. You know, maybe in the next, the meeting memo that we circulate and stuff, like I said, maybe we need to, A, list that we need some flavored diapers. B, we need the Febreze. C, we need one of those little muzzle things like they kind of put on like Eric, or what was his name, the Hannibal Lecter, whatever, to put on Andy's face.
Maybe just a feed bag.
Well, that would work.
I'm going to get my butt kicked.
I think we just tell him that we've changed the show times, so he'll show up. He'll be the only one to show up, and we'll already have the show done. What do you guys think about that?
Well, yeah, that's kind of like telling somebody to go pee in the corner of a round room. You just have Andy all tore up.
That you would. We need to get to this next guest. See, I'm excited about talking to him.
Bring him in, Dan.
Well, I'll do that. I'll bring him in, man. Tonight we have somebody that in Indiana that has been sort of a mentor to me on how to conduct myself at the tracks. So those of you that know me know I need all that I can get. But I believe we have the legend, Steve Barnett, on the phone with us. You there, Steve?
Hey, we're here, and I don't know about teaching you how to conduct yourself at a racetrack.
Right. I don't know, man. I know you've helped me out a lot in the past, but as Charles always says, we got a lot of rookie stripers out there. So tell us who you are, what you're all about, and where you're from, Steve.
Well, been racing about 40 years from Franklin, Indiana, mainly around Brownstown Speedway, North Vernon Speedway, Twin City Speedway. Raced at Eldora a little bit, and raced to Kentucky, Illinois, and just been racing a long time. Had a lot of fun at it.
You have been racing a long time, Steve. I believe you started in the late models, 1975, somewhere in there, and picked up your first win in about 77. But what did you run before you run late models, out of curiosity, Steve? I don't think I've ever asked you that question.
Well, late models was it, but back when we started racing late models, there was a 69 Chevelle, so I got to sit around and see all the different evolutions of what late model racings went through. Raced with a lot of real legends, like the Ray Gotze's and the Paul Crockett's and all those guys, from around this area, Russ Petro, and watched them guys race, cut my teeth racing with them. So we've been around a long time, raced with Purvis, Boggs, and guys like that, just seen a lot of guys come and go.
There has been a lot come and go, but there's one thing that's always stayed consistent, Steve, and that's the consistency from one season to the next with you and the wins. And I can't even remember how many Northern All-Star late model championships you have and all the different. I do know this year you won the Twin Cities late model championship and backed that up with the Union County Speedway championship. But the championships and wins, have you ever tried to put the number together that you have throughout your career for those?
I really don't know exactly how many it is. I mean, I can take the time and count them, I guess, but the Northern All-Star Championships, winning 6 of those, that was a pretty cool deal. And we've raced 4. We had 4 championships at Brownstown. I think we got 3 at Union County, Whitewater Valley Speedway, 3 at Putnamville, Lincoln Park Speedway. So got a couple of UMP state championships, and had one year we won the Brownstown Championship, the UMP State Championship, and Northern All-Star Championship the same year. That was a fun year.
Now, you've been racing late models for 40 years, just about. Is there anything else that you'd like to jump in anytime if you had the opportunity?
No, late model's been pretty much it for me. I have run a Silver Crown car a couple times, and that was pretty fun. But late models is pretty much what I want to do, and I have, of course, late models on dirt tracks, and I have run a little bit of asphalt, but I don't know. It's just late models what I've always been about and always wanted to do, and run modifieds a time or two. But that's pretty much where I want to be and what we've always done. I had opportunities to go run ASA at one time, back in the days with Mike Eddy and those guys, but I chose to stay in the dirt stuff.
Now, Steve, you had mentioned modifieds there, and you've been in modifieds a few times, but you're maintaining one of the NASCAR Superstars modifieds, and actually you race on the Tony Stewart racing team here in Indiana, late models, and you maintain the late models and the modified, and you got Joe Godsey. You guys have Joe Godsey in that car this year. But let's talk a little bit about that and what Smokes meant to your racing career with J.D. Byrider and things like that, if we can.
Well, Tony's just been, it's been tremendous to be able to have the opportunity to race with a guy like that. And Tony's just down to earth, and of course everybody knows that, he's a true dirt guy at heart. And it's meant a lot to have him with us, and he comes back and always gives back to the grassroots racing, not only in the modifieds and the late models, but he's helped a lot of guys in the midgets and, of course, the sprint car stuff and just go-karts. I mean, Tony wants to help a lot of people in a lot of different ways.
That's a fact. He's involved, like you said, all the way from the go-karts, TQ midgets. He does a lot back here in Indiana. Now, J.D. Byrider has been with you for many, many years now, and that's probably one of the easier haulers to spot going down the road as your hauler. And I know I look forward at every dirt track that I go into that I know you're going to be there. And but what's the J.D. Byrider sponsorship meant for you?
Well, J.D. Byrider has just been a very faithful sponsor, and it's been a lot. And I'll tell you, a lot of people, racing's a tough deal financially, not just the finances, but being away from your families. And a true racer is a true racer. And, you always want to say family comes first. You take your family with you when you can, but there's times the family can't go, and you end up out on the road or something by yourself, but with your pit crew guys. But J.D. Byrider's a family-orientated business, and they've just been good and faithful, and they're going to be on board with us again next year, and along with Tony. He's going to still be there helping us along the way, and we're still going to have Joe driving the modified, and we're still going to be going. I keep telling everybody every year I'm going to do it one more year. So we had a good run this year, and we did win some races, and we're going to come back and try it again next year.
Well, no doubt, and of course, I mean, we all know that you can get out there and do it because your record is proven. But now, let's talk a little bit about, of course, the dirt racing and stuff. Of course, a lot of times it's not focused on the national news or things like that unless there's something that's happened. Now, of course, as well as everybody else does that, Tony had his wreck, put him out of Sprint Cup, for the rest of the year, and a pretty bad wreck. And of course, we lost Jason Leffler. We've lost a couple other guys out there that's been mentioned. Have they made any changes to the safety or rules as it went along, or even have you heard any kind of talk even with the drivers about changing things with safety, especially on the dirt?
Well, I haven't. I mean, we got this, the full containment seats now. We got that, and I know some car builders put an extra bar in the roll cage around the hoop to try to keep it coming down. I know about 4 years ago I had a pretty violent flip at Brownstown, and I still, to this day, I can feel a little kink in my back from that. But, I know the Hans device, there's some guys wear that, and you still got some old school guys that are too hard-headed to do that, maybe like myself. But the seats are a little better than they were when we first started. Back talking about the '69 Chevelle, my first race car seat was just a kind of a beefed-up bucket seat. Now we got good safety seats and that sort of thing. So our cars are pretty safe. I mean, anything can happen in any kind of racing, but a dirt late model is a pretty safe car.
Now, Steve, you and I have talked about some of these things in the past, kind of like off the record, I guess, or on the behind the scenes things. But the dirt late models in Indiana kind of struggle at times. They go good, and then for whatever reason, we can't get a really good late model series going in Indiana. The Indiana Late Model Series is up and running. But what are some of your thoughts, in kind of a short and sweet package on what we need to do to support the dirt late models in Indiana as fans and as racers?
Well, I think it got better this year. You see more cars now. And the reason is you had promoters, that all they wanted to do was just try to hit the home runs, and you didn't have the weekly shows. And when you don't have the weekly shows, then the smaller time drivers that can't afford to go run Lucas Oil or something like that, they don't have a place to go. And then also the fans, if you don't race every Saturday night, the fans are going to find something else to do, so they're not going to make a habit of going to the racetrack. But Twin Cities this year, they got on a habit of racing every Saturday night, and I've seen more drivers coming back to the racetracks. We've seen the fans coming back, but that's the main thing. You gotta have a promoter that's willing to not hit the home run every time. I mean, you can't make $10,000 on every race. You might have a race you make $1,000, and I think that's what really hurt racing in Indiana for a while. Is you had promoters that didn't care about the small time stuff. All they wanted to do is make the big time stuff. So it's gotten better. Brownstown's got a new promoter this year. He's saying he's going to race more. And if you have the races and you promote them, you'll get the fans there because the excitement's still there. And I've seen it this year, and that's one reason I want to come back, because I still see the fans are excited about it. They're growing, and hopefully that's what it takes. Now, the Northern All-Stars, a series like that was a great series. You had the Battle of the Bluegrass in Kentucky. That was a great series. I don't know, you get some of the bigger series that doesn't like the little series, and they kind of cut them out. But stuff like that's what really helps bring the race car drivers back.
And, of course, too, we see a lot with the economy. A lot of people can't afford to spend, $1,000 to go to a big NASCAR race or things like that, but they can afford the $20 ticket or the $25 pit pass to go in and watch the dirt and actually watch more exciting racing. I mean, I have to admit that.
Yeah, and I keep coming back to Twin Cities, what they did this year. They even had a thing where they let kids in free. The promoter told me they figured that if they can get the parents to come in and pay and the kids come in and then they go to the grandstands or the concession stands and spend money and just have an overall good time, have a fans appreciation night. And they had bicycle races and all kinds of good stuff. So they brought it back to the way it was and the way it should be.
Awesome. And I tell you what, buddy, we're going to keep watching it for the next 50 or 60 years that you're racing out there winning championships. But there's one thing you got to do, buddy, before you go. It's those three famous words that all drivers on this show have to say. Kenny Walls started it. You have to yell at the top of your lungs, "Burning rubber, baby." Make sure the neighbors hear it. The wife maybe think you're crazy and stuff, but you got to do it, buddy. Let's hear those three famous words.
All right. My wife knows I'm crazy, so we're going to go burning rubber, baby.
Woo! There it is.
Oh, yes.
I tell you what, Steve Barnett, it don't get no better than that, boys, when you get the dirt racers out here that are tearing up the tracks in Indiana, especially my home state. But I tell you what we got to do. We got to step over to the chef, don't we? We got to step over and find old John Dix. John, are you there?
Burning rubber, baby. How's everybody doing tonight?
Oh, man, we're doing good, John. How you doing?
I'm doing great, buddy. We got us a good recipe. It's getting a little cooler out on these cold or actually cool October days, and we're doing a baked potato soup, a little bit heavier tonight.
Oh, yeah, that's good, man. Everybody's got their pencils and paper ready, and we're ready for recipe, John.
All right, man, I can hear their stomachs growling now. We're going to start with a half a cup of butter or margarine, which is about a half a stick, a quarter cup of chopped onion, a quarter cup of all-purpose flour, 1 can of chicken broth, which is usually about 15 ounces, 1 can of evaporated milk, 2 large baking potatoes. Now, you want to bake them, or you can even microwave them. It'll be a lot quicker. And then you're going to need some cooked and crumbled bacon, shredded cheddar cheese, and I tell you what, we're going to get started here. First, guys, you're going to melt the butter in a large saucepan over medium heat. Then you want to add the onion. You want to cook it and stir it just lightly for about 2 or 3 minutes, just until it's tender. You don't want to overdo it. And then slowly stir in your flour. After that, you want to gradually stir in the broth and the evaporated milk and get it all mixed up and get it to where it's just steaming just a little bit till it's nice and warm. And then you're going to scoop the potato pulp out of one of your potatoes. And you want to preserve the skin, okay? And you want to mash it all up and add the pulp to the broth mixture. And then cook that over medium heat. Just stir occasionally until the mixture comes to a slight boil. Then what you're going to do is you're going to dice the remaining potato skin and the potato and add it to the soup. And you want to heat it real good and thorough. All right? Then season it with salt and pepper. And I tell you what, on the top, you're going to, before you serve it now, you want to sprinkle the bacon and the cheese and the green onion, which that's optional, but I love it with the green onion. And I tell you what, guys, it makes a good, hearty meal on these cool days.
Love that green onion added to it, and everybody is so enthralled with it. They're drooling. I don't think they can say a thing. Guys? Lots of nods, John. Lots of nods.
There you go.
Well, now we can get your recipe on the Burning Rubber Radio Facebook page at burningrubberradio at facebook.com. And, of course, we also look forward to talking to you next week and find out what you've got as we gear into Homestead.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. We're all excited. You know, it's that time of year. Everything's winding up, and the races are getting more excited every time.
They certainly are. Well, John, thank you so very much, and we can't let you go without those three famous words.
Burning rubber, baby.
All right. Chef John Dix and Burning Rubber Radio returns right after these messages.
Everyone has a cell phone, and everyone pays for cell service, right? Wrong. Life Mobile offers you a way to get free, unlimited calling, text, and internet with up to and including 4G speeds through your favorite carrier, FREE. That's free forever. With Life Mobile, when you refer 3 of your friends, your service becomes free. Help your friends get 3 and theirs becomes free. Hurry on over to the number 3, makeitfree.com. That's 3makeitfree.com. Learn how easy it is to never see a cell phone bill again. Go to www.3makeitfree.com and get started now. That's 3makeitfree.com. Life Mobile. Life made easy.
Motorsports sales professionals. Performance Motorsports is looking to build a team of experienced media sales professionals to represent our programming to the industry's top companies, magazines, and racing series. If you have motorsports sales or marketing experience, know how to work with agencies, understand social media, and are incredibly creative when it comes to working with clients and promotions, then we want to hear from you. Top performers are richly rewarded. Your imagination is the only limit here. Call 717-749-0444. That's 717-749-0444, or email us at scorpionradiogroup@gmail.com. You want to ask for Sue.
It's Burning Rubber Radio, an excuse for the hosts to get out of the house on the weekends without having to explain to their wives, husbands, and girlfriends what they're really doing. Now, here are your hosts.
That's right. We're back, bumping it up in the studio. Woo, we got room to move around in, man. I feel like a bird out of a cage. We're back, folks, from another wonderful break. Thank you, sponsors, for the show. Again, speaking for iRacing and some of the others out there, Attention Williams Chevrolet, because I tell you what, folks, you all are the ones making it happen. And if you'd like to be a sponsor of Burning Rubber Radio, I tell you what, folks, it wouldn't hurt our feelings very bit, would it, Dan?
It sure wouldn't, man. Just contact us at burningrubberradio@gmail.com, and we'll get that info out there, man. Really, really, really cheap to do, especially if we can keep Andy out of the studio, man. Our food budget will be way, way down, see? You know, I mean, look at the money we'll save on the scented diapers and the Febreze.
Yeah, no doubt. Well, of course, if Febreze sponsors us, you know, then we could, you know, kind of take that off. But, hey, let's get away from that. Anyways, I tell you what, folks, we talked to a lot of different exciting people here. We've had crew chiefs. We have had drivers. We've had tire changers. You name it. We've had all sorts of people related to the racing industry. But I tell you what, one of the things that we really haven't had on here is kind of what you'd call, you know, the manager of media relations, you know, the person on there that makes things happen behind the scene that a lot of people don't realize goes on. And I'll tell you what we've got. We have actually got Eddie Williams on the horn. Going to talk to him tonight a little bit, and he is the person for Homestead Miami Speedway. Now, Eddie, how are you? Are you on the phone?
I am. I'm doing well. Thanks for having me tonight.
Oh, we appreciate having you, buddy, because I tell you what, we're a kind of a grassroots show, but we try to encompass everything that goes on with racing and anything related to it. But now, a lot of the fans out there don't realize exactly what your job is and basically how difficult it is. So why don't you give us a little idea of what you do behind the scenes to make things happen for everybody?
Okay, one of the things about our sport is that since it's kind of the traveling circus, there's never, aside from Charlotte, there's really no home base for the teams and everything else. So at a track level, you really are trying to manage your market via your media buy and your relationships with your local television and then radio and .coms and print and all those guys. So my job basically is to inform them, for lack of a better term, feed them the information about what's going on in the sport. One of the things that I face as a challenge here in South Florida is not only are we competing against the Miami Heat and the Dolphins, but you have University of Miami, you have the Florida Panthers, and then at the top of everything is the weather and the beaches, because there's just so many things for people to do that it's hard to keep them focused on a season that lasts, the longest sports season in all the sports, so they get it, and I'm able to keep them interested and engaged, but it's just such a long season that they really start paying attention once the chase starts. And from there, I just got to get them all the information, not only about what's happening on track, but things that we put in place for the fan experience, infrastructure, everything else. So, yeah, my job is really just to get the word out.
No doubt. And, of course, all you have to tell me is the fact that, Miami, November, no cold weather. That's good for me, buddy. I'm there.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, there's no better place to be. The average temperature November 17th will be about 79 degrees and no humidity, no mosquitoes. And, for the last couple of years, we've been able to enjoy, a barn burner when it comes down to the 40 Caboose 400 championship. You guys were here when last year with Jimmy and Brad, and Jimmy broke, and Brad finished 15th. That was enough. And then who can forget the year before with Tony basically just kind of backing his way into the chase, and then all of a sudden went on the streak, won 5 of the 10, and there you go, 3-time champ. So you know how it goes.
Oh, no doubt, Eddie. And, of course, speaking of exciting championships, what kind of impression, what kind of feeling do you get knowing that you get the final race of the season? We've had championships that have just been so close to the wire anymore, like within a point. How excited does that make you that it's at Miami Homestead Speedway?
We're extremely fortunate and blessed and excited to host the championship each year. NASCAR is one of those industries that they don't sign like 10-year contracts, so you can't. It's basically a year-to-year contract. So every year when the schedule comes out, and we get a little bit of a heads up, but every year that the schedule comes out, and midway through November, you see your track name right there. We're tickled to death. So to have that, to have the way that the chase and the points, and then when the chase first started, we only had the 10 drivers, then they expanded to 12, and this year we have 13. And then the guy that came into the chase 13th is now 3rd. And he's going for a 5th championship. Jimmy's going for a 6th, and then you got Kendrick in there. Can't ask for much better. We'd love to see a Harvick get in there. We'd love to see, obviously for us as a 4-track, we'd love to see a Ross Fenway car or love to see Carl or somebody like that pull it off. But as the chase is going on, that's looking less and less likely. So now we're just really wanting, to see the sport's brightest stars put on the best show. And I think that's going to happen November 17th.
Oh, no doubt. And, of course, talking about Ford, Ford has been a longtime sponsor, of the championship weekend and stuff down there now, especially with coming on with the Ford EcoBoost. Now, tell us a little bit about that, kind of what kind of festivities are going on with Ford down there. Are they going to bring some of the cars out, let people check them out, things like that?
Yes, sir. Yeah, they have, obviously, when you spend the kind of money that Ford does to be a a title sponsor of our event, you know, they get a big footprint and a wide berth and a lot of leeway. But they have a huge display that's going to pretty much have their 2014 car lineup. So I mean, and they got a zip line, and they'll have Ford drivers parading in through their display. So yeah, Ford goes all out. They go all out.
Now, on Ford EcoBoost Championship weekend, that's probably the busiest weekend of the year for you guys. What's a typical day look like that weekend for you?
Well, I would love to be able to say, you know, it's not really a lot, because one of the things that other stick and ball sports have that we don't is, you know, baseball is 82 home games, basketball is 41 home games. For us, I guess for your listeners, I think the best way to equate it is like getting ready for the Super Bowl or for the Olympics. I mean, we put all of our efforts into that one weekend. So I'm taking a long time to say, you know, by the time we actually get to race weekend, you hope, and since I've been here almost 5 years, I kind of know what to expect. But you really just, once you get to race weekend, you just want to execute. There's no more planning. If it's not done by then, it's probably not going to get done. So you just really want to plan. But for me, a typical day is, obviously, you have 1,200 credentialed media members that are on site and pretty much setting up shop to do their jobs for the weekend. You know, you just want everything. For me, I want everything in the media center to be right. And that's everything from the internet connection, food to be served on time, and it's food that people like. It's not nasty. You want to make sure that you have the driver appearances schedule all together. So it's a lot of scrambling, a lot of planning, a lot of putting out fires, because it could just be something as simple as somebody's credentials being wrong. So you want to make sure that all that stuff is, you want to try and have everything laid out in front of you. So when things pop up, you're able to react.
Now, of course, we got a lot of people listening now, too, probably thinking, they just show up on, say, Wednesday, and it's all good and done by Sunday, whatever, you know. But that's not the case. I know you guys planned this for a long time, but how long does it take to get this set up?
When you say set up, you mean just I'm telling you, we start the week after the race each year. Mm-hmm. So, I mean, you'll start putting, not only are you doing the recap stuff and sending out thank you, sending out stuff to people like you guys when you come down, and start to think about, well, what can we do better for next year? We start kind of doing that, and before you know it, you know, you're for us, it would be moving into 2014, and you already start making your media plan. You want to start doing your outreach. You kind of go through and figure out, you know, with the way that media has changed, you know, sometimes a lot of the TV affiliates and newspaper, you know, their sports department is shrunken so much that your people you're used to dealing with are no longer with them. So then you got to go find out who that replacement is, and before you know it, it's March. And then, you know, we go up. Our track is owned by the International Speedway Corporation, which makes us, we have 11 other sister tracks, which include Daytona, Talladega, Richmond, Martinsville. I can go on, Phoenix, all of those. So we also kind of support other tracks. So I will go to Daytona, not only for the 500, but I go for the Rolex. So I go and help out my counterparts there, and then I'll go to Talladega in the spring, and, you know, before you know it, it's June. And then it's time to start thinking about what you need to do to get ready for our event in November.
Oh, no doubt, Eddie. Now, I'll tell you what, buddy, we're going to be down there hanging out with you. The whole Burning Rubber Radio crew is going to be down there. We're going to be pestering you and following you around. And I tell you what, buddy, we enjoy being able to come down there. You know, it is a wonderful facility, a wonderful location. But now there's one thing you got to do before we end the interview. Now, of course, there's three famous words that all of our guests have to yell. You know, Kenny Wallace started it. You know, of course, now we know he's crazy, but that don't necessarily mean you're crazy. We just want to get you to yell it really loud. But you got to yell "Burning Rubber, baby," and let all the people around there know, the neighbors and everything. Just let them all know that you've been on the show.
Can do. Count me down.
3, 2, 1.
Burning Rubber, baby.
There it is, folks. Eddie Williams from down Homestead Miami Speedway. And I tell you what, folks, we're going to step out, pay a few more bills, and then we will be right back.
Motorsports Sales Professionals. Scorpion Radio Group Incorporated's Performance Motorsports Network is looking to build a team of experienced media sales professionals to represent our motorsports programming to the industry's top companies, magazines, and racing series. If you have motorsports sales or marketing experience, know how to work with agencies, understand social media, and are incredibly creative when it comes to working with clients and promotions, then we want to hear from you. Top performers are richly rewarded. Your imagination is the only limit here. Call 717-749-0444 or email Sue at scorpionradiogroup@gmail.com. That's 717-749-0444 or email Sue at scorpionradiogroup@gmail.com.
You're listening to Burning Rubber Radio. Evidence that with enough money and a lot of BSing, almost anyone can have their own radio show. Now, back to Burning Rubber Radio.
And we are back again, folks. And I tell you what, if you don't believe the BSing statement, well, trust me, you just need to. We're just going to just lay it out on the table for you.
That's a fact. See, that is a fact. I cannot believe how fast this show went, man. With, the Swami wasn't here. Everything was smooth. We had great guests. I just can't believe it, man. It smells so much better. My belly's full. I'm ready to take a nap now, and not from frustration.
Oh, I'm telling you what. And, of course, speaking of frustration, folks, we've got to talk about this past weekend's race. And, of course, they were at one of my favorite short tracks, Martinsville. And I'm telling you what, folks, if you missed the truck race, you must have just been like in the hospital or something. It was just fantastic. Lots of beating and banging going on. Harvick and Ty Dillon having a few little words, and, of course, among other people. And our old buddy Bubba got his first win in the Camping World Truck Series, which is fantastic.
That's pretty cool. It was cool to see Bubba get it. There was a lot of truth that come out of Martinsville as far as I'm concerned after the race, but I'll leave it right there. I got a few shout-outs I want to do before we have to get out of here. I want to give a big shout-out to XAN TV. The racing this weekend on XAN was awesome. King of Carolinas, the Western Dirt Nationals. If you guys haven't checked it out, you need to check out www.xan.tv. You'll love the subscription there, man. Renegades of Dirt, what a good show out there. Big shout out to Kay Reshaw at Bill McAnally Racing for hooking us up with all these Bill McAnally Racing drivers. This is going to be a continuing thing from week to week. Once again, we'll be at Homestead Miami Speedway, as you all just heard. We'll be at PRI. And I know, Ems, that you got some big news that you're wanting to put out there.
Oh, yeah, and I just heard that everybody from PMN is maybe heading out to SEMA, too. But Saturday, I'm going out to SEMA, the SEMA show in Las Vegas with UNOH. I was lucky enough to win a scholarship, so I get to go out there for the whole next week. And unfortunately, I don't think I'll be able to do the show, but I'll be thinking of you guys.
Yeah, right. Don't be lying to us like that.
Oh, come
on. That was
on.
exactly my thought.
There you go. If I was in Las Vegas, you think I'd think about these guys sitting around? No.
Maybe if you were only 20 like me and not 21.
No, I'm only 22, but I'm not going to tell. Anyway, I'll tell you what, folks, and we got to give another big shout out to iRacing. I'm telling you, folks, this is revitalized, the online sim racing. Too many NASCAR guys coming on there, running it, saying it's the greatest. Plus, our sponsors, man, we can't talk enough about Tencher & Williams Chevrolet. They've been a long-time sponsor with us. If you need a Chevrolet, get online at tencherandwilliams.com. I'm sure that if you wanted to drive all the way to Kentucky to buy a car, man, they'd cut you a real deal. Anybody else got some good stuff?
Big shout out to Shell Shock, Noah Enos, Shell Shock Custom Helmets, all the help that he gives us, especially once we get the iRacing Season 2 going. Chris Boson, 6B Apparel, he's going to make us look real good at Homestead Miami Speedway with our laminated shirts, once again, from 6B Apparel. And Charles, man, Bob's yelling at us, man. You want to get us out of here?
Yeah, we're going to have to go, even though we've had an exciting show again, folks. And I tell you what, we're going to call this the Under the Bus episode for, the Swami not being here. But I tell you what, folks, you can always join us every week. Get on the internet, look us up. We're part of the Scorpion Radio Group, Performance Motorsports Network. Big Dan, Big Emily, and Big Bob. Bob, you're going to have to quit smoking that dope. Buddy, we got to get out of here.
Burning rubber, baby.
Oh, my God.
Burning Rubber Radio is a copyrighted production of the Performance Motorsports Network.com, a division of the Scorpion Radio Group Incorporated. This program may not be rebroadcast, replicated, or saved in any media without the explicit permission of PMN. Check out our Facebook page, facebook.com/burning-rubber-radio, or go to the Performance Motorsports Network.com website and look for our landing page there. The opinions expressed on this program are those of the hosts and guests and do not necessarily reflect those of the management and ownership of either the Performance Motorsports Network or the Scorpion Radio Group, or those of our advertisers and marketing partners. Be listening next week as we munch through 4 or 5 large pizzas, half the salad bar, and at least a case of chilled adult beverages.
Hey there!
Huh?
What about the guests and the motorsports coverage and all the other cool stuff they do?
Oh, yeah, well.
Now, come on now.
And they do one hell of a show.
Okay.
For Burning Rubber Radio, I'm Cougar Michael.
Burning rubber, baby!